Hello my community, this is Sean with another video, and for this video I'm going to continue to go through my collection A through Z. I'm at the Cranberries, starting this video off in the C section of my journey to show my albums A through Z. And by the time I get finished with this series, it might be eve of Election Day 2028. I really want to pick up the pace. I think I said that in my last video. I think I worked more overtime hours this week than I did since my late 20s, early 30s. And yeah, so overtime's not worth it. Family, hobbies like vinyl record collecting is much more important. Friends, unless you need the money, overtime's overrated. So tomorrow's election day, so if you haven't voted, if you haven't early voted, maybe consider to vote. I live in Florida, and the state of the hanging Chad. When I first moved here, it was a swing state. I guess they're saying it's not a swing state anymore, but you never know. The polls could be wrong. So it's always a good idea to voice your, weigh in on your vote. So without further ado, I'll get started on this video. And I wanted to start this video off with recent additions to my collection. I've been doing really well with my Spanish record, Latin record box that I bought. I mentioned it on a couple of videos. Bought it for $25. The guy had like 5 of them. I'm kicking myself for not buying an extra, one or two more. I did quite well with them. There's some albums that one album fetched like $47 that I sold. Another one was in the 30s. 2 of them were in the 30s. And I did quite well with it. So I made some eBay purchases. One seller was selling buy 2, get 2 free. So I'll show those first, and I'll just get started with that. The first album I'll show is a CD. It's a compilation. It's called Play. The bands on there looked intriguing. So I picked this one up along with the CD Bodine's Blend. There's a thread going around the top 15 American bands, in your opinion, the top 15 American bands. So the Bodines might sneak in there for me. This one's a 1996 album from them. I don't think it's available on vinyl. I played it once, and it's very good, like all Bodines records. I recommend this one a lot. And this compilation, it's got some great bands in it. I don't know the background behind this. It's kind of a weird one. It's Polygram Records. I don't know, the background behind this, but it's got some cool bands. It's got Hot House Flowers on it. It's got The Mission UK. It's got Fetchin' Bones. It's got The Fall, The Wonder Stuff, Material Issue. I've got some great bands that I love on this compilation. So the buy 2, get 2 free. This one was an easy pick for me. There's one album in the house that I failed to bring out. It's the Dream Academy. It's a 12-inch single, Remembrance Days. And then the fourth one I bought was this Graham Parker and the Rumor. This is Stick It To Me. Ed from On My Turntable showed this one. Not this one. He showed Shooting Out Sparks, which I have in my collection as well. It's in the house. Just underrated. You can buy these for cheap, very cheap prices. The Graham Parker and the Rumor, and then there's the other Graham Parker albums that aren't the Rumor. I think each one has been, so far that I've listened to with Graham Parker, has been really, really solid. And it doesn't get enough love. I mean, not only in the vinyl community, but as a whole, and just in music in general. He's in the Elvis Costello vein, I'd say, but definitely not the same as Elvis Costello. Worth picking up, and I really enjoy this album. I think it's just as good as the critically acclaimed the Sparks album that Ed showed on this last video. Graham Parker and the Rumor, Stick It To Me. Okay, and even though I purchased, it was buy 2, get 2 free from this eBay seller, I felt like I was ripping him off because the 2 albums did purchase were cheap, very cheap, very great prices, no other bidders. He threw in an extra record. He messaged me before when it was en route to my house. He messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm trying to get rid of some of my records. I'm going to throw in another extra record for you. You can use it as a frisbee, use it as a sorting tray, a placemat or whatever, or you can add to your collection." I added to my collection this one. It's my second free jazz record in the last month. I mentioned in my last video, I got a free jazz record from a Whatnot auction they threw in. I don't know if it was on purpose or by mistake, but I tried to contact the seller and they don't have a way to contact them, so I just added it to my collection. Certainly going to add this one to my collection. This is Johnny Hartman and I Thought About You, a jazz record. I guess vocals jazz. I listened to it twice, and it's got to be in the right mood, as with all jazz records for me personally. It's not like an everyday listen for sure, but it's very quality album. I'd say, I don't know what year this is, but I'd say early 60s maybe. And yeah, it's I looked at the Discogs at the prices, and it's not a cheap record. This is a VG record. It does have some surface noise. It's on a cool Royal Roost album label right there. And yeah, and I quite like it, and great to get freebies. All right, and then from a separate seller on eBay, I got two records at really insanely cheap prices. I don't remember having much luck with eBay. It seemed like Discogs was the way to go as far as buying records for a really great price. But there's no other bidders on these two albums either. My last video was Elvis Costello, and I only had the newer recent records from Elvis Costello. I didn't have any 70s and 80s output, and I was absolutely chastised in the comments. Like, how could you not have 70s and 80s Elvis Costello? And now I wasn't chastised, but I think Ed from Embryonic, I'm sorry, I think Ed might have commented that he only has on my turntable, only has the 70s and 80s and none of the newer stuff, and the same with Brian, Embryonic Robot. I had to rectify that in my collection. This is, I think, is his debut album, 1977, Elvis Costello, My Aim Is True. Long overdue addition to my collection. This is a great copy. It sounds excellent. Cover's in great shape. Definitely VG plus on the wax. And this one's got Allison, Watching the Detectives, The Angels Want to Wear My Red Shoes are the main hits from the song. But each song on this, there's not a bad song on the album. I think this is early 70s material. I think all the songs ring in at under 3 minutes on this one. Just a great debut from Elvis Costello. And then the other album I bought from the same seller that only got one bid, and that's Heart. It's the Dog and the Butterfly. It's my first Heart album in my collection, right here, and it's got the song Straight On. That's the only hit off this one, I feel. But the other songs on this album are definitely solid. I didn't rank it yet, of course. I only listened to it a couple times, but it's got a really nice gatefold here. And of course, Ann and Nancy Wilson. There's Steve Fossen, Howard Lessie, and Michael DeRocher are the band members of Heart. Did I say Roger Fisher? I'm not sure. But yeah, really nice gatefold from Heart. And it's got, I guess, pretty cool label there with the butterfly. I don't know where the dog is though. I should have put a dog on the label. And the cover, there's a dog in the back there. The dog in the back there, so. Okay, and now I'm gonna actually start with the Cranberries in my collection, going through my albums A through C. I only have 2 Cranberries albums, and I'd like to get all their studio albums eventually. Definitely one of my favorite bands of all time is the Cranberries, and from Ireland. The first album that I'll show is it's a compilation. It's Remembering Dolores. This is a Record Store Day 2022 release. It's a compilation of selected songs from the family of Dolores, band members, I think record executives, record company employees that they put together and released. There's no hits on this album. Is originally released digitally September of 2021. It would have been Dolores O'Riordan's 50th birthday. 2 LP, features 3 bonus tracks: The Rebels, Astral Projections, and War Child. Nice gatefold. And there's the back. And it's just on the regular black vinyl with the lightning bolt label. And I guess my favorite song off this one, it's a compilation, so I didn't rank it, would be The Glory. I actually fell in love with The Glory after buying this album. My favorite song so far off this record, may change later, but that's the one I stream a lot as well. It's the one that sticks out for me from this album. And Cranberries, Remembering Dolores. Cranberries, she didn't commit suicide. That's what the rumor was, that there was fentanyl in her hotel room, or I don't know if I think it was maybe her house. I'm not sure, but yeah, she just had prescription drugs in her system. The normal amount, not an elevated amount of prescription drugs, but what I think did her in was a high level alcohol content, and maybe with the mixture of the prescription drugs, she passed away in her bathtub. I guess there's some speculation that it could have been, but she got diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Some really tragic things happened earlier in her childhood to Dolores, and she struggled with that later in life. So yeah, definitely one of the most angelic voices of all time in music history. Similar to Sinead, I feel, in her range and her style. I think on her audition tapes for the Cranberries, she sang a Sinead O'Connor song, and the band members immediately said, "Oh, there's our singer." And then the other album I have is Everybody Else Is Doing It, So Why Can't We? This is their debut full-length album. On my research, it says there was 4 EPs preceding this, but on Discogs I can only find 1, and it goes for like $120 on CD. Just ridiculous prices, rare. I have the this is the 2018 anniversary edition vinyl. I guess on the CD there's a available version of the that includes that EP that I would like to get, but that's rare as well, and you can't get it on Discogs in the US. You have to go overseas to purchase that and pay the high shipping. Yes, it's at a reasonable price. I think with the shipping it might be around $40, which is high for a CD, but would be great to have that early EP from the Cranberries. And original name was Cranberry Sauce, and if you say it fast, you can just say it fast. She grew up 10 miles outside Limerick in Ballybricken, and the youngest of 7 children, one of 2 girls. I think all through her life she's been a devout Catholic, and all the lyrics pretty much for the Cranberries are by Dolores and guitarist Noel Hogan. This is the 5th album in rock history to reach #1 more than a year after its release. In the US it only peaked at 18, so that was either in the UK or Ireland, where it reached #1 after a year. My favorite songs off this one, their debut. This has the singles that you probably know, which is Dreams and Linger. Uh, Linger, the highest charting U.S. single in the Cranberries history, and O'Riordan referred to this song, that she was worried about this song because the Linger song, because she was only 18 at the time, and she thought that people would think it's soppy teenage crap. And you may be one of those people that don't like the Cranberries and may feel the same way about this one, which is okay. But not for me. I never thought that when I first heard the song, and I don't feel like it now. And obviously this album sold really well, so I guess a lot of people didn't feel that way. My favorite song off this one is Still Can't, and also Sunday and Not Sorry, A-list songs for me off this very excellent album by the Cranberries. All right, and then the next band that I'll show is Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. I only have 2 albums from the Crosby, Stills and Nash / Young, and but I'd like to get more, certainly. And this first one that I'll show, I ranked a lot higher than the second one I'll show. This is, of course, is Deja Vu with Neil Young, joined Crosby, Stills, Nash. And this is just an outstanding album. Of course, it's renowned to be outstanding. And this is the non-textured cover, I should say, non-textured. But it's and it plays VG plushish on my turntable. Really silent. Really great copy of this. I'm really thrilled to have. I got it at a good price on Whatnot. And yeah, great gatefold here showing the band members. Yeah, the only song that I don't like off this one is I guess the David Crosby led Almost Cut My Hair. I guess I don't gravitate toward the David Crosby songs, but the harmonization of this band is probably the best of any band in the history of music. What would you say? Tell me in the comments if you agree, or if you could think of another band. But to me, just a great harmonization between the members. Definitely a classic sound, and this one has Carry On, Stephen Stills led, Teach Your Children, Graham Nash led, and Our House, which I thought was originally a Madness. Being a child of the 80s, I thought Our House was a Madness song until I purchased this album and discovered that Crosby, Stills and Nash was the original. This also has Country Girl, which I guess is a 3-part sort of parts to the song, and Deja Vu, the title track, Woodstock, Stephen Stills led. And yeah, I really want to explore both Stephen Stills' lead, his solo albums. I know MGK Boston loves Stephen Stills, and he has a lot of solo records, so I want to follow his lead. And then, but Nash, yeah, he's got some great solo stuff that I discovered just researching this video. My favorite songs off this one are Nash led, and that's Teach Your Children and Our House. Those are my 2 favorite songs off this one. Okay, and then my second Crosby, Stills and Nash album is this 1977 Crosby, Stills, Nash, known as CSN. And this one, not rated as high, like I said, but certainly above my threshold of solid albums that I don't want to get out of my collection. I purged some of my records at a recent record store that I rated low, and just got rid of them for next to nothing. Now that I created this, now I started selling records on eBay. Probably in the future, maybe try to sell them on eBay. But yeah, this one is a good album, just not as good as the stellar Deja Vu. My favorite song off this one is Cathedral and Just a Song Before I Go, and also Run from Tears. It's a three-way tie. You know, the three songs that I really enjoy off this one. Actually, I think maybe Cathedral might be my favorite, but it's there's them harmonizing in the back, and just a really solid album from Crosby, Stills and Nash. And I skipped one, Creedence Clearwater Revival. I only have the greatest hits. I certainly want to get their studio albums, especially I think you can get them for a good price. I just haven't collected them yet. This is the greatest hits from the CCR. I don't really need to say much about this one. They are well represented in the vinyl community, well represented in the analogs of music history, and yeah, so it's got, I mean, it's a greatest hits collection, so you can't go wrong with this one. I still picked this one up at a really, I think, in the $25 range. And one of my first vinyl records since I started collecting, started back collecting vinyl records after not having records since my teenage years. And this was maybe, I think, one of the top five, or first 5 albums that I purchased when I started collecting records again. And yeah, it's got the great gatefold there. Classic CCR. Okay, and then the last record I'll show, and if you watch this far, I appreciate you watching, is Christopher Cross, which I have 2 versions. The one was the first one I bought was crackly, so I repurchased it. Yeah, so this one, I guess he's known for his flamingos on his cover. And when I was a kid, I had the other one with the huge flamingo on it. I forgot the name of the album. It's on my want list, and I really enjoyed that. But this one is gets much more critical acclaim, this debut, than the was it Turn the Page, maybe, something like that. But I remember as a kid really loving the album I had, the Turn the Page or whatever it was. This, of course, is the debut album. I think I saw Stephen Schnee. I haven't watched it yet, but it popped up on my you know, my feed thing on YouTube, so I got to watch that one. But he just did a video on Christopher Cross's discography, and I dropped my notes. Let's see if I can find it here. Oh, I got lucky. Yeah, so this one's got Say You'll Be Mine, which is with Nicolette Larson. I ranked that one as a low. I don't like that song. I think if I heard that on the radio, I'd skip it 9 times out of 10. It's also got Spinning with Valerie Carter, which again, I don't like. To me, it sounds like a Disney song. And yeah, but the ones with Michael McDonald with Ride Like the Wind and I Really Don't Know, really great songs. And I think Michael McDonald's one of those guys that gets a lot of hate. I don't know why. Like the Doobie Brothers, I don't like anything with, a lot of people say I don't like any, when Michael McDonald came along, I don't like their music anymore, things like that. But I like McDonald's soulful, unique voice. And on these 2 records, especially on these 2 songs on this record, I think they add a lot. This one's also got Sailing on it, and 2 hidden gems on this record. And it's Minstrel Gigolo, the last song of this album, and also Never Be the Same. Oh no, not Never Be the Same, that was actually a hit. The other hidden gem that I wrote down was The Light Is On, The Light Is On. This is a 1979 album, and it's Christopher Cross, self-titled. Okay, thanks for watching, and if you could comment, feel free to comment, that is, and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching, and until next time.